Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here, this time reviewing on The Ultimates 3. Now, as you know, The Ultimates 3 is meant to be a 5-issue series, and instead of Mark Millar, we had Jeff Loeb taking on the series. And I know Linkara did review this, and shared his sort of thoughts on it. I think what Ultimates 3 tried to be was more showing repercussions after Ultimates 2. And the story starts off with a sex tape of Black Widow and Tony resurfacing. We see how Tony is devastated because of this being reminded and that, and we see how Wasp wants to try and figure out what's going on. And suddenly, we see Venom breaking into the mansion saying, "Where is she? Tell me where she is, or I'll kill every last one of you." And we see how Wasp tries to get the team afoot. And we see how Hawkeye tries to use his guns on Venom. And keep in mind that in Ultimates 2, Hawkeye lost his family due to Black Widow's actions. And we see him sort of becoming something similar to Ronin from the sort of Avengers film. And we see him even trying to fire darts and everything else. And we see how Black Panther tries to take down Ultimate Venom using every skill that he has. And then we basically see how Wasp is basically tied up by Ultimate Venom's goo. And we see how just as basically Ultimate Venom tries to tie up Hawkeye, we see Valkyrie showing up, saying, "Nobody hits my Thunder God." "Who? You are not the one. Where is she?" And of course, we see how she tries to take down Venom, and we see how Ultimate Venom ends up getting lightninged by Ultimate Thor, who is basically meant to regain his Norse God status and speaking in a more Shakespearean role. And we see how after this, Venom is now taken down, and we see how Wasp is quick to point out Hawkeye's reckless behaviour, but we see how he decides to look for Black Panther. And we see how Scarlet Witch, as well as Quicksilver, the next day, getting ready to do some Christmas shopping. And we see how Captain America speaks about mainly Scarlet Witch's appropriate dressing, but we see how Quicksilver is quick to be defensive, and we see how Wasp is supportive of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch's relationship. And I get it, this is Wasp being supportive, but it's kind of messed up. And we even see how Cap is even disgusted by it as well. And we see how Hawkeye tries to talk about the problems with the sort of Tony Stark sex video, and knowing that there's going to be repercussions in that. And we see how Wasp has a talk with him, saying how he's not here as much, but we see how he points out that he's mainly looking to get his life back on track. And we see how they did have a relationship, but we know it's not going to work. And we see how Wasp is talking with her ex-husband Hank Pym, but we see how he's duped up on medication, and Wasp shocked beyond words. And we see how Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are down by a sort of small additional area, and just then we hear a bang, and we see Quicksilver saying, "Wanda, stay down!" And we see how he tries to capture the bullets, and we see him saying, No, got it! But we see how he realises he was too late, and it ended up hitting Scarlet Witch. Him saying, "Wanda, I have you, sister. I promise. I would always look after you. Nothing is going to happen to you." And of course, we see how Donald Blake shows up to offer to help Scarlet Witch. And we also see how he tries his best to to kind of do CPR and that, but her lungs have ended up filled up with blood. And we see how he points out to Quicksilver that Scarlet Witch is dead. And yeah, this is issue 1. So I think issue 1 is okay-ish. Again, I get it that the point of Tony Stark in this series is meant to be sort of disgusted at the sex video being leaked onto the internet. We also see how Hawkeye has kind of become a shell of his former self, and we know there's always going to come repercussions from the next series. So I think it deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.